Intellectual pack, assemble. It is time for Retro Reveal Episode 1. So, in this series, I show you guys my retro collection. But hang on a moment. I need to take my meds real quick, guys. All right, so because of how I have it stacked up right here, we are going to do this backwards in alphabetical order. So, first up, we have Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memories. Now, this one took me a while to get and find for a good enough price. I had it before on PS1. Not really sure. Well, I do know why I sold it. Because there was one enemy, one opponent I could not defeat. So in the moment, I kind of sold it. So as you see, I have the manual. This is something I had before from the previous version. As you can see, it has the insert, which was a Konami kind of postal code. Would be unusable right now. But these kind of things, you always kind of want to keep for nostalgia purposes, just to know you have it. And cost me about $30 on America. Pretty good price, actually. Next up, we have a classic, Xena, Warrior Princess. I got this one on eBay. It was it's a pretty cool game. I originally played the demo. And as you see, I have the the manual booklet with a few inserts as well. The disc itself kind of had a unique look to it, as you can see. Kind of looks like the Xena's weapon. Pretty sure they did that purposefully, as they usually did. Next up, we have a wrestling game. WWF. Warzone. Stone Cold Steve Austin on the cover. See the WWF label right there. Made by Acclaim Sports. $7.99 on actually at a place called High Score Video Games here in Minnesota. As you see, I have the insert right here. And yeah, there's that one. Next up, we have WWF SmackDown 1 and 2. You see? Right there. SmackDown, WWF SmackDown, and WWF SmackDown Know Your Role. See the label? I kind of need to get a new case for it, though, because as soon as they open SmackDown 1, the cover comes off. So kind of got to get a replacement case for this, which I plan to do sooner rather than later. This one, of course, was $19.99. Both of these I bought at High Score Video Games. And then we have WWF Attitude. See, we have the insert. Another game showcased in the back, as it was used to doing back then. And next up, we have WCW Backstage Assault. See it? Disc, pretty good shape, you know. But you see another game right there, advertised in the back of the manual, as is normal for then. And then we have Siphon Filter 3. Now, about this one for about $20 at High Score Video Games as well. I unfortunately do not have the manual in this one, but do plan on getting it. And then we have another classic. $15. Rayman. PS1 classic. Ubisoft. This was in the earlier days of Ubisoft, if you can believe it. Kids to adults rating. ESRB. You see Rayman 2, another game on my wish list. On the back of the manual, as is normal. And yeah. Next up, we have a game that I had a bit of trouble trying to figure out trying to remember what it was called exactly. It took me a little while, and I finally figured out what it was called. And I bring you Moto Racer. It's kind of like a dirt bike game, little weird handling. Games were not really known for their handling then. I also have this game, but I have it on digital on my PS3. This one, of course, about for $10 at High Score Video Games. As you can tell, I get a lot of my games from High Score. especially rare ones. And here I have Jet Moto 1 or Jet Moto 3, 2, and Jet Moto 1. I have a full collection here. Jet Moto 1, 2, and 3. These were very interesting, to say the least. They were kind of like, if you ever played Wave Racer, they were kind of like that, but a little different. Instead of like a bike or a wheeled or a boat, you were on kind of like a hover bike. And yeah, you was pretty much a race, and very fun. You know, you had bikes painted up like Mountain Dew, sponsored by Mountain Dew. You had some sponsored by like so many different bikes. Like it was crazy. Now we are down to our last 5 games that I have right now. Croc, Legend of the Gabos. Now, if you can tell, I kind of taped it up a little bit here because covering up stickiness of the case. Now, this was a very interesting game. So like, in order to move, you would think you would press the analog stick or the directional pad or the D-pad, right? No, not at all. Not at all. Instead, to move, you would press, I believe it is the square button on PlayStation to move. Now, the controls. It was really weird because, well, I'm looking through the manual here, see, and getting started, you see, and left and right directional button to sip, left to level, saving, loading. You could enter passwords. So you would move forward and so to move forward, you would press the square for this and turn. It was really weird to move, really. So like the circle button would turn him around. And yeah. So like it was kind of weird controls. My guess is they were experimenting with like what they could do, kind of. So they took a bit of a, kind of a different turn to what they were doing, to gameplay, to controls, to pretty much everything, and well, it was very, very interesting. And next up, we have a movie video game. Now, back when PS1, PS2 kind of era, around that time, the game movies were a bit better than they are now, I think. But here we have Casper. Now, this was kind of like a puzzle game. Like you would get different things to help you. Like Casper would be able to control the like be able to turn himself into a hammer to like hammer down objects and stuff like that. And like turn into a tornado to like do stuff and like turn into different things to get into small areas. So it was pretty interesting, the gameplay. As you can see, Stretch, that's and Stinky were in the game as kind of like enemies per se. As you see a look at what some of the other games look like they weren't exactly like this, like case like this. They were a lot bigger cases, kind of like a booklet. And next up, we have another game from I believe a video game company that is no longer around. Crystal Dynamics. We have Akuji the Heartless. Now, I originally played this game via a demo. Now, as you can see, I bought it as like somebody sold it with as like this to High School Video Games, of course, where I also got this. The front, there you see, had demo of Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver, and Tomb Raider 3 in the game itself. So back then, you would boot up a game, go into the menu, you would see demos and a whole bunch of other stuff like options, stuff like that. It was a very interesting concept back then. And next up, we have another movie video game called A Bug's Life. Now, this game was a very fun game. I love it. Honestly, I could play this thing over and over again. And there you see a look at one of the demos, like demo discs, PlayStation Underground. I believe we have one out there somewhere. And well, yeah, so we got a whole bunch of stuff on this game. It is an amazing game. I loved it. I still love it. It is just, awesome. An awesome and fun game. And next up, last but not least, I bought this one for $15 at High School Video Games. 101. 102 Dalmatians. Puppies to the rescue. Now, Disney's Interactive. Eidos Interactive was one of the studios as well. Eve for Everyone. This game was just an overall amazing game. Doesn't really matter if it's for kids, it's just an overall fun game to play. Anyone can play this. Anyone can enjoy this. I know I did. And I'm 37 years old, so I mean, I loved it, honestly. So right now, I am going to introduce you guys to a few other games of mine. Now, in order to do this, I need to turn on my PS3 because those games are on there digitally. Now, I'm about to introduce you guys to a few games that are by far underrated games of the PS1 era. Now these games, some of these games deserve a remake, in my opinion, and a lot of other people's opinion besides myself. And they just have not been, made. They've not been touched in a long time, and they're very underrated, guys. They deserve a remake, honestly. So first, we have Gex Enter the Gecko. Legend of Dragoon, a very underrated game, needs a remake. Everyone I've talked to about this game, Legend of Dragoon, has said it deserves a remaster. Not like a ground up, but I'm talking like voiceover, and like live, better looking, newer looking scenes, and newer looking characters, kind of, but leave the gameplay alone, kind of thing. Final Fantasy VII, Tomba, Siphon Filter 1 and 2, Bloody Roar, Nuclear Strike, of course, Twisted Metal, Arc the Lad 2, Final Fantasy 8, Final Fantasy 9, Parasite Eve 1 and 2. 2 I did not like very much. The controls were just all over the place. Really. Soviet Strike. Final Fantasy Origins, Chrono Cross, and Future Cop, LAPD. Now, a lot of those games were very underrated. And honestly, they by far deserve a remaster. Now, that'll do it, guys, for this episode. I will see you guys again tomorrow at some time on YouTube for Amnesia. And I will see you guys then. As always, though, remember, stay safe, stay dangerous. Love you guys. Later.